You I Love You in a song. It's a very good song, actually. It's well, a lovely little song. But yeah, I think things that are difficult to say, sometimes it's like writing a poem as well. If you write something down about a strong feeling you've got, whatever it is, then I think that is cathartic. That's therapeutic. I mean, some people say if you've got a real issue with somebody, write them a letter, be totally honest, and then screw it up, don't send it. But the action of writing it and throwing it away can help you to move on from that situation. So yeah, I think writing things down, writing songs. I've always found writing songs and poems very cathartic. I think that's true, which is probably why I say I'll probably write something for my friend Terry, because it will just help me to express the sadness and the shock of that.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that's what I write about, my feelings and situations and people, and that seems to give me an endless flow of ideas. And as you know, writing songs is about ideas, as well as melodies and things. And so yeah, I rely on reality, I suppose, the reality of life to write music. I mean, one thing just to lead into, um, when Lucy, my Kimberly and
Yeah.
Lucy in end of September, she's going off to university. She's done 4 years in college. She's had a gap year where she's been working part-time jobs, and she's going to Chichester, which is in West Sussex, but it's quite a long way from here. So of course she's going to be residential, and that is going to be, Kimberly and Lucy, they've been through a lot, really. I mean, they've always been happy, thank God, but their parents divorced would be about 5 years ago. We still see they, the girls and me and my son, we still see their dad, but they live here with us. They live
Mm.
here, and have done since the beginning of the lockdown.
Mm.
So when Lucy goes on, as I was going to say, they have no contact with their mother. Their mother met someone else quite quickly. He didn't, shall we say, fit into the family, and they were not spoken to very nicely, incredibly. Anyway, long story.
Mm.
Um, and they are happy girls, and we'll really miss Luce when she goes off to college. And that's my point. I'm thinking, you know, I was listening to a beautiful song the other day in my car by Beverly Craven, if you remember her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, she, she
Is
she
it
had a great song,
Promise Me?
Pro- "Promise Me," but actually she had in my view, an even better song, which I didn't really know at the time, a few years ago, I guess, called "I Miss You." And this came on in the car. I was on my own, I think, at the time, and I actually found myself relating this to Lucy when
Right.
she goes to Chichester, and I actually I could have blubbed because I felt tears coming, and I had to stop the music,
Yeah.
um, because I know it would really, the idea that she won't be living here,
Yeah.
is a hard one to bear. I mean, I don't know whether I've said before, but 7 years ago, in 17, she was diagnosed with epilepsy,
All right, I didn't know it.
and yeah, she had it right out the blue. She was in my car one day, and she had a seizure. You can imagine how frightening that was. I mean,
Yeah.
I and who I was with, we'd never seen this before, so of course we got an ambulance and so on. Anyway, at the hospital, they kept her there for much of the day, but they said, well, it's 50-50 if she has another one. If she has another one, we'll have to diagnose epilepsy. Well, she did have another one about a month later, bless her.
Yeah.
she got onto medication, and really the first, I'd say the first 4 years, she was having probably 3 or 4 of these horrible things a year, despite the medication. Anyway, the upshot is that the last one she had followed about 2.5, 3 years ago. It followed a vaccination for COVID, and
Yeah.
that was always known that could happen.
Yeah.
But thank God she's not. She had a couple of absences about 18 months ago, where just for a few moments she kind of is out of it. But they've adjusted the medication, and now she's not had a problem for 18 months or so, or a bit more, two
Yeah.
years. Thank God. So it's well controlled. And I've always believed that maybe she'll outgrow it. It was at a time when she was growing up. She's quite tall. And maybe the hormones, etc. It's known that that can do that. So although she's still on medication, I'm hoping that she won't need that forevermore.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm only throwing that in to give a bit of background. But you can imagine my
Yeah.
protective instincts
Yeah.
for Kimberly and Lucy
Yeah.
and Kimberly
Yeah.
are very strong, as they've been under our wing.
Yeah.
And so when she goes, there will be that sense, not just of separation. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
still see her, obviously, hopefully a couple of times a month or whatever.
Yeah.
But that sense of separation is going to be
Oh,
tough, but
yeah.
the more so because I've always been there for her
Yeah.
when she's had these issues, when she's had
Yeah.
a bad incident. Thankfully, they seem to have gone, touching wood. So yeah. Anyway, I'm saying I thought one of the songs, one of the five. I've done three. I've got two to go for my next delivery to Deepstuff.
Yeah.
But one I may try to write about Lucy leaving.
Yeah.
But when I've sat down a couple of times at the piano or the guitar, I found it very, very difficult because I can see a bit like listening to Beverly Craven's song, I Miss You. You ought to
Yeah.
play that sometime. It's a lovely song.
Yeah.
Um, it just gets me there. I mean, I suppose I've always been quite an emotional sort of character. That is me, and I like that. I like understanding feelings and what people feel, having empathy. But it's going to
Yeah.
be tough. But I
Really.
think it will be good for me ultimately to write that song and then move forward.
Right. So this is all we've got time for. We're we're happy to call it close. Bring the show to a close. So, you've been watching and listening to the Alien Spaceship with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me bruv.
And myself, Trevor Gear, and he calls me Cuz.
Yeah. So join us again for another interesting episode next week. It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Yeah, just in time, Trevor. As soon as it goes off now, we're back to the football referee.
Interestingly, I didn't see the 10 minutes come up.
All right.
Did you
This is
did
it.
you get that?
All right. Well, I saw it.
Did you? Right.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Sorry if I went on a bit there.
No. That's this is a talk show, Trevor.
Yeah, it's true. That's what it's
It's
about.
it's a talk
Trouble is,
show.
I get into something like that, and it
I
starts
know.
to make me a bit
I know.
thoughtful. But no,
It,
it's good. It's
it's
good.
a very it's a subject that's close to the heart, and when it comes to our dear loved ones, and
Mm,
we come alive. We come
yeah.
alive with emotions, yeah. So yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I saw something. Let me just read this very short.
Right,
I saw
okay.
something the other day. Um, let me find it. Yeah, and it just made, I don't know where I saw it, somewhere. And it said, love knows not its own depth until the hour of separation. And then someone said, airports see more sincere kisses than wedding halls, and the walls of hospitals have heard more prayers than any other sacred holy place, because love is felt most when it's leaving. And I thought that said it all, didn't it? It's
Wow.
airports have far more emotional, well, greetings, reunions as well as separations, more
Wow.
than weddings and hospitals to put together, probably. But yeah, it's an emotional time. Yeah.
That is a beautiful observation, that, which is a spot on.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's spot on. Because when you look at hospitals, I mean, I'll come to the airport in a bit, but when you look at hospitals, you think, well, you just want that person for as long as you
Yeah.
can extend it for, yeah, like, is it going to, are they going to be all right? They're
Yeah.
going to be okay.
Yeah.
Anxious moment. And then airports, obviously, which depicts when somebody's going away either for a short period or for a longer period, you just sort of miss that person even more. You
Yeah.
just,
Absolutely.
yeah, you
Yeah.
sort of miss them even more. Yeah, human emotions is on a different level. It's
Yeah.
just something else. It's on its own. It has a life of its own. That's the only way that I can describe it. It has a
Mm,
life of its own. So there's you, and then there's your emotion just standing there next to
mm.
you. You know?
Yeah.
Uh,
That's true. Yeah.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
true.
human emotions. Yeah. Anyway, that bit's gonna be added to the alien spaceship.
You're very good at editing, and
I
that's
love
good.
it. I
That's
love
good.
it. I just love it. Yeah. Right. So